I don't see any particular reasons that we couldn't be at the bottom. And I'm not trying to say that we definitely are at the bottom, but like, I think the unwinding that had to happen has happened.
Yes, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin. If you hold Bitcoin, has the crypto market bottomed? Well, Sam Bankman-Fried on a recent episode of Real Vision seems to think that if we haven't, we are damn close. In today's video, that's exactly what I want to share with you. We'll take a look at what the charts are telling us, both the positive and the negative. We'll look at both options for Bitcoin, as well as recent altcoin news, what's happening in the metaverse, and much more. So, like always, check the timestamps down below in the video description, hit the like button, and let's jump in, starting with this full, about 70-second clip from Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, my only gripe with this statement from SBF is that he does come off as a little wishy-washy by the end of this clip. He says, yes, I believe we've bottomed or we're close, but then he immediately says, maybe the opposite as well. Either way, we'll listen to this clip, but then we'll use this to actually look at the charts and talk about both options. Watch this.
I don't see any particular reasons that we couldn't be at the bottom. And I'm not trying to say that we definitely are at the bottom, but like, I think the unwinding that had to happen has happened. And I think that like, if you saw a bit of a reversal in like risk asset pricing in general right now, I think crypto would just go along with that. And I think that like, there's nothing that is theoretically stopping tomorrow from being the day that the recovery starts in earnest. Now, of course, that's assuming that for some reason, good things will happen tomorrow, right? If instead tomorrow bad things happen, then things will go down more. And so I'm not even trying to make an asymmetric statement right now between upside and downside. I think I'm almost just trying to not make an asymmetric statement and just saying like, I don't see a particular reason that it needs to be downside weighted right now, short term. Like, I think it could go either way. And I think that like, I don't know that we're waiting for the other shoe to drop right now. I think the shoes have dropped and we're sort of in a like, well, let's see what happens with the world type situation. But, I don't feel totally confident. And obviously not financial advice.
Okay. What do you think? Like I said, sort of wishy-washy. He says both options are possible, obviously, but this is my takeaway. He's saying that so many people are in bear market mindset right now, thinking that because we've gone so low, because we've seen all these collapses, that we're going to continue seeing destruction in the crypto market like we've seen. But Sam's point is that unless we get new information, something horrible happens tomorrow. Maybe an escalation in the war in Ukraine. Maybe the Fed comes out with an emergency meeting, makes a declaration nobody's expecting. Unless we get new information that's negative, the worst is probably behind us. Meaning we're not going to see another stablecoin as big as Luna's USD collapse. We're not going to see another hedge fund as big as 3AC declare bankruptcy. And the three biggest crypto lenders, which would be Celsius, BlockFi, and Voyager, have already laid their cards on the table. Now, yes, a contagion effect is real. Yes, those major companies affect so many other companies, especially if the lending and the borrowing is on other entities' balance sheets. Very possible. But FSB's point is it's not going to be as big as what we've already seen. So unless we get another piece of news in a week to the negative, a big piece of macro news, then the worst of the sell side pressure is probably behind us for now. Now let's dig into this. Because while nobody can see the future, I'm not a financial advisor, we can check out some charts and see what they say. So first off, big fundamental chart, and I have shared with you things like this before. When in doubt, zoom out and think big picture. Internet versus crypto adoption. Do people realize this? So here is the chart showing the total users in the millions. Green is the internet and blue is for crypto. Internet starts from 1990 to 2000, so the rise of the internet, compared to the rise of crypto, showing total users from 2014 to up to 2024, although we're in 2022 now, laid together. What do you notice? Cryptocurrency right now has the exact same users as the internet did back in 1998. So what this means to you is, even though the price of any crypto fluctuates heavily day to day, actually incredibly volatile even month to month, the majority of the world isn't even into crypto yet. We're at the exact same levels as the internet in 98. And to finish the bullish case before we talk the bearish case, because again, anything is possible, even Tur Demeester, TA expert who I really respect, is calling for this bottom and adding it to his list of previous successful bottom calls in his past. Now he flat out says, calling attention to this no doubt might jinx my lucky streak, but for what it's worth, here are all my Bitcoin related calls for market capitulation. Here is that chart. We can see back in October 2015, he called capitulation. Also back at the end of 2018, capitulation. Also during the 2020 pandemic crash, capitulation. And now again in June of 2022, calling it again. As of 2 weeks ago, he tweeted, Bitcoin's down 73% from the all-time high. Based on how I feel in my body right now, awful. I'd say this is Bitcoin capitulation. So obviously nothing technical about feelings. I wouldn't make a trade based off this. But what this means to me as a Bitcoin investor, a great time to start, if you haven't already, dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. DCA in the bear markets, take profits during the bull markets. Give me your thoughts on this down below. Let's keep moving. What about the other side of the Bitcoin? What about the bear case? Good morning. DXY going parabolic. We'll talk about this in a second. But Bitcoin going up a bit and people getting euphoric and now calling for 40K. Not a single bullish sign to support this move up, and prices still at $21,000 to $22,000 resistance. Rejection is strong. Altcoins could still drop another 45 to 50%. There will be no mercy. And essentially what he's basing all this on is the strength of the DXY dollar index, which as seen here continues to go up, as well as the rejection of Bitcoin at a major resistance level despite a minor pump in this last week and a half. And actually let's head up onto TradingView and we'll go to the live DXY chart and look at what we're dealing with. Because even though the US dollar is so much weaker in purchasing power compared to itself last year, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, etc., when you compare the US dollar to other major nation-state currencies like the euro, the yen, I believe, etc., when you compare it to that basket, because the Fed is raising rates, it continues to get stronger in the short term in comparison to that basket. And what this means to you is people want to hold more cash. People want to take their money out of the stock market, out of Bitcoin, out of crypto, etc., and keep it in USD because the strength is going up. As long as this continues, we can expect other asset classes to either stay the same or go down. We've seen this time and time again. For example, in the 2016, 2017 run-up, it's not always perfect, but it's always a good metric to check back in with. So the point is here from this chart, although we could correct a little bit in the DXY in the short term, until we see a trend change, which probably won't be until the Fed stops raising rates, there's no reason to be that bullish, go all in right now. Although we may break resistance, see a bounce, we still are looking at these other macro indicators. Now, I will say, for me, relating this back to the Sam Bankman-Fried clip of, is this a potential bottom? I believe metrics like this are sort of lagging indicators, meaning we won't see until after it already happened, and then it'll be obvious in that time, oh yeah, Bitcoin did start going up after we'd already flipped. So what this means to me, because we're never going to be able to time the exact bottoms, to me, that's why you want to be heavy in Bitcoin in the bear markets and go more into alts after confirmed trend changes, after confirmed bull markets. I still think no matter if Bitcoin grinds down, grinds sideways, maybe even grinds up throughout the rest of this year, I still think Bitcoin dominance is going to increase at least to 50, if not 55%, maybe more. Last cycle, it got all the way up. It peaked at around, I think, a little over 70%. We are seeing diminishing returns with this, so I don't think we'll get back that high. But 55%, not out of the question. Anyway, that's just my strategy. That's just what I'm doing. You do your own research, make your own opinions. Nobody can see the future. Literally, anything can happen with crypto. Hey, next up, I thought this was cool. The Otherside meta, meaning the Bored Ape Yacht Club's Otherside Metaverse, has completed its first load test, supporting over 2,500 plus concurrent users in full 3D motion.
I just got in.
Oh, did you?
Pretty cool. Honestly, looks like a party, looks fun. Let me know down below if you were a part of this and your thoughts. But I guess just the final thing I wanted to show you is our interview with Michael Saylor is being written up by a lot of major crypto publications like Cointelegraph, like Bitcoinist. I think most of you have already seen our interview with Michael Saylor, but if not, be sure to check out the clips. Great stuff. Like always, see you tomorrow. Appreciate you.